So we are at the New York City Horror Film Festival here with.
Hannah Fierman, hi.
And what film do you have for the festival?
Well, I directed the event surrounding A Peeping Tom, which just screened. And also tonight, I star in the movie Demonatrix, and that is filming. That's screening in a few minutes.
Tell us a little bit about the film that you directed. What is it about?
It's about okay, so it's about a peeping Tom who is in rehabilitation and follows a woman and starts to realize that he is being followed by something far more sinister than himself. Yeah, I need to work on my log line, I guess, pitch or whatever, but that is what it's about. It's starring Damien Maffei and Kate Kiddo, Felissa Rose, Terry Kaiser, and it's a psychological horror thriller. And I'm really proud of it. I really am proud of it. It was like magical watching it tonight in the theater, hearing the full 5-1 and just being submersed in the sound and the audience's responses and everything. It was really great. I'm so happy to be here.
So it's a psychological thriller. Why did you pick a psychological thriller, not a thriller that's more, jump off your seat kind of thriller? Is that what you prefer doing?
I would totally direct both. Absolutely. I mean, just the reason I chose this one is because they chose me and asked me to direct it. I was originally supposed to be playing the character of Rowan, but years went by, and then they decided to ask me to direct it, and I said yes, but I didn't want to play the character of Rowan because I felt like it was just a bit too much to bite off for my first feature as a director. I didn't want to stretch myself too thin and have the piece suffer because of it. So that went to Kate Kiddo, and she absolutely nailed it. And I can't imagine the role being played by anyone else.
And how was it directing your first feature? Because obviously from shorts to feature, it's a big difference.
It's actually, I didn't find it to be that different, and I'll tell you why. So I approached it as like as baby steps. So I broke the script down with my director of photography, and I had all my storyboards and my shot list and everything. But I also chopped it up into segments that I felt were shorts within a feature, and it became easier for me mentally to manage it. Yes, exactly. And I think that it even helped the flow, even though you think that that might not be intuitive, but it actually really was.
What about the effects? Did you have any special effects that you felt, oh my God, how am I going to direct this so it looks realistic?
So the only thing that I was intimidated by was the action sequences, because I did not have an action coordinator. I didn't have a stunt coordinator, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt. And a lot of our props were really quite vicious, even though they weren't real knives. For example, they still could hurt if you were running and fell on one. And so I was intimidated by those sequences, because also I'm an actor by trade before directing, and I'm not an action actress. Like everything that I've done, I've always had a stunt double. So I haven't even really seen it in real life to be able to direct it anyway. So that was really intimidating. But we went through it very safely, step by step, and I thought it looked great on camera. So I guess I did a pretty okay job in the end.
If it looked good on camera and the audience liked it, of course you must have.
And I'm my harshest critic. I'm like, really, yeah, I'm so relieved. I mean, it looked so good. I'm so proud of everyone.
So, what was it that you felt okay with the kind of fake weapons? If something went wrong, what would you have done at that instance since you didn't have a stunt coordinator?
Well, I'm actually pretty good in a crisis situation, and I absolutely would have wrapped up somebody and made sure that everything was taken care of. But this is an indie non-union set, so that's what anybody would have to do. But I made sure that we were never in that situation. Like, I didn't let anybody run with scissors or knives or anything sharp whatsoever. And people pushed back against it. They were just like, no, it'll look good. Come on, let me do it. I don't care. And I'm like, I'm not, okay, I'm worried about your bodily harm, yes. But I'm also worried about me dealing with your bodily harm. So this is also this is also about me, guys. I do not want to have to deal with that. So I know you're tough. I know you're amazing. But accidents happen, and I'm not willing to chance it.
How did you go about casting? Because there may have been some intellectually challenging or some scenes that you felt, oh my God, how am I going to cast for that specific scene?
Well, I know so many amazing actors that it really wasn't hard. Like, I would never cast somebody that I didn't trust completely, and I know that I wouldn't cast anyone that I didn't know would do a better job than even I expected them to do. Like, and they all came prepared. They all were professional. They all were, like, even better than professional. They all surprised me with knowing their characters backwards and forwards, even better than I did. And I was thorough. These guys are just total pros, and I mean, I couldn't be more grateful.
Was there a director that influenced you in this film or in your career in general for your directing perspective?
Yeah, I took some influence from Neil Jordan and uh, let me think. Oh, so many. Like uh, the guy that directed Neon Demon, like Winding. What was his last name? Starts with an F. Anyway, like, okay. Also Terry Gilliam. Um, quite a few, actually. I was taking everything from everyone that I ever really enjoyed watching, and like the swooping shots from 12 Monkeys, the fever pitch hysteria slash theatrical color and lighting from Interview with the Vampire, and then like the light setups from Neon Demon. And I mean, I can't even remember. We shot this in 2021, so I can't really remember everything that I was drawing from, but those are the ones that I remember right now. Wait, there was one more. What was it? Hold on. I can't remember. I'm gonna kick myself later. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I stepped away from the camera and totally remembered all of their names. But there's that. There's that.
So you shot it at 2021, and was it just released?
It's only just now doing the festival circuit. Yeah, it's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point because a lot of it was done for free. And post production is not sexy, it's not glamorous, and people will commit to like doing like color or doing post sound design, not realizing how much work it takes, and then they'll half-ass it, and then they'll ghost, and that is fair because we weren't paying them. And so we had to go through a lot of people, and it was extremely frustrating, but also you couldn't blame anybody because like people got to eat, you know so I think that's why it took so long, is because there was simply not enough money set aside for post production. And I mean, I'm not pointing fingers or blaming anyone, but I as the director, I didn't want to produce originally. I didn't want to produce because I thought it would be like taking on a role. I didn't want to overextend myself. And after it wrapped, a lot of people ghosted, and I was just kind of left with this movie, and I was just like, I'm not going to let this die. It's too beautiful. So I like rallied everybody and became a producer myself. And it's hard producing. It's not fun, and I sort of stepped into that role for this movie because I believed in it so much, and just because the footage was just that beautiful.
And what do you expect that this film will do? Obviously, it's going through the festival rounds. Do you have a distributor? What would you like to see out of this film? What do you think you're going to get? And you'll be like, oh my God, I succeeded with this film now.
Okay, I love your attitude. Thank you. Yes, I love you. So what I want out of this is I want it to find a home. So a psychological horror thriller. I want it to find a home where the audience is expecting that kind of film, that kind of film genre. I do not want it to go into a streaming outlet that is just known for slashers or for being gratuitous or for being incredibly gory. Like this is not that. This is a thoughtful movie. It can be called a slow burn if you were thinking of it in that way. Like it's so it has to find its place in the world. So when people click on the movie and they watch it, they're not disappointed because it's not a lot of tits and knives and blood splashing everywhere, because it's not that kind of movie, and I wanted it to be marketed as such. So this is our next challenge, is finding that home where it will fit and the audience will be pleased, hopefully.